Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the media briefing session. Can you hear me okay, first of all?
Yes.
Excellent. This is a very surreal experience. Great. Could we get some help over here with the headphones, please? And I'll just crack on with the introductions. So first of all, let me introduce the panel today. In the centre, we have our UK representatives, Sir Dominic Asquith, the High Commissioner to India, and Amo Kalla, who is our Deputy Director of Investment. And then moving here from my left, we have John Cronin, who is the Executive Chairman of Cyancanode, Sam Halford, who is Managing Director of Equinity Group India. We have Lyric Jain, who's the CEO and founder of Logically. And then over here, we have Prem Barthasathy, who is partner at Pontac, Elaine Warbotton, CEO of Quantum DX, and Chandi Nair, who is the Mulbio Director. So what we'll do today is we'll start with some remarks from Sir Dominic, and then we'll hear from each of our company representatives in turn. There'll be time for some Q&A at the end. So over to you, Dominic.
Thanks very much, Sally. What fun this is. I'm going to have press conferences always like this. Think back to April very quickly. Two prime ministers in London announced the tech partnership. They announced it for a variety of reasons, but one of the most important ones was that the strengths of the two countries are very complementary. And that's what you got to keep in mind, and that's what we're talking about today, and it's what we've been doing since April, is accentuating that complementarity. So since April, we've gone full steam ahead. We have done an awful lot. We've promoted and got running some of this cluster, the relationship between the two clusters in the UK. So we have the Midlands Engine, which does automotive, and Northern Powerhouse. We've had a delegation out from the Midlands Engine into talking to Maharashtra, which is our proposed partner there. For obvious reasons, we will be taking forward the AI data bit, which is the Northern Powerhouse with Karnataka. So that's still to happen. AI and healthcare, 5 UK companies shortlisted today to take forward a pilot study on AI and healthcare and Modicare. So we've done that in the last 8 months. And we're having today a steering group of future manufacturing, Centre of Excellence, building on some extraordinary work in advanced manufacturing we do in the UK in the Catapult system. And then today, of course, this wonderful festival, or fest, hundreds of companies from both the UK and India, and the scientists and the innovators and the policy experts talking not just about technology, cutting-edge technology, but about thought leadership. How do you make use of the benefits that technology can bring? How do you prevent some of the more worrying aspects of technology hurting us? So that thought leadership is really important. Why with the UK? I have to say it's a pretty natural collaboration between India and the UK. A third of the jobs that Indian companies in the UK are involved in are in the tech area. So we're building on something that already exists. The investment relationship is going really well. 2017 compared to 2016, Indian investment in the UK has gone up over 300%. That's an extraordinary leap. UK remains the largest G20 investor in India, so it's a balanced interest. Trade, again, last year gone up by, bilateral trade gone up by 20%, so a really strong basis of collaboration. And all this is possible provided people travel in both ways, exchange of people. We give more skilled Tier 2 visas to Indians than we do to the whole world combined. Student visas gone up over 30% in the last year. The ordinary visitor visa gone up by 10%. So more people than ever are traveling between the two countries. And then the finance, which is really important, but 6 billion, just short of 6 billion in the last 2.5 years, raised on the London Stock Exchange through a variety of bonds, masala, green, and so on. And we have a really good, thriving exchange in terms of common investment in science, innovation, research, from a standing start 10 years ago to an expected £400 million worth of joint investment by 2021. So there's an awful lot which just truly makes sense. And lastly, the last thing I'm going to say before I hand to the companies is that business is helping to drive this. So we have, of course, this year, Vodafone Idea, the second largest in the world in terms of subscriber base, and BT set up its own global cyber security center in Gurgaon. So lots happening, driven by government, driven by business, driven by innovators, researchers, scientists, and I'm going to hand over at that stage to the companies.
Good day, everybody. My name's John Cronin, Executive Chairman, Cyanconode. I'm delighted to be here today. Formally today, this is our announcement about successful go-live of smart metering project for CESC, Mysore. Before I go into that formal announcement, I'll just give you some background about Cyanconode and who we are and what we are. We are based in Cambridge in the United Kingdom with a presence here in Delhi that we've had for a number of years, headed up by Anil Dulani, Managing Director for Cyanconode India. What we are all about is we are a world-class smart narrowband radio mesh network. We're winners of Frost & Sullivan's 2018 Company of the Year for Global Smart Metering. We actually have been very focused on India, and India we see as our growth market. We've been here for a number of years and invested for the last 8 years of stock exchange money from the UK, here investing in India. We've actually done a technology transfer from the UK to India, and now we have it, as Prime Minister Modi would say, make in India. So our hardware is made in India by local companies and provide then to the utilities and the meter manufacturers here in India. We go to market through local companies such as meter manufacturers, such as system integrators, and also through mobile operators. And we are also part in the UK of the rollout of the UK smart metering programme, where they're actually connecting 53 million gas and electricity meters through one centre. We provide the mesh capability for what we call not spots. In other words, where the mobile phone does not work, we can carry that traffic and the data. And it's all about the data from the consumer back into the utility and being able to move forward and do more efficiency and effectiveness within the energy world. Not only can we do it for smart electricity metering, which is the first application, but also that we can do it for IoT, any device in the neighbourhood network, gas, electricity, water, traffic lights, we can hook all of that data up and bring it back to a central point. Recently we announced our new product only in June this year, and since then the team here under Anil has actually brought forward $19 million worth of orders, which we're now starting to roll out in India with our partners. So on to the actual formal part of what we're launching here. So as I mentioned, it's a go-live situation for the first smart metering project here in India that the government actually put out 14 smart grid rollouts, and we're the first one to be successful in getting the data from the consumer homes back into CESC Mysore. National Smart Grid Mission has actually declared this project go live, so and that's what we're supporting today. It's 21,000 smart meters, associated hardware and software. We are the design authority as Cyanconode, right from the integration in the home all the way through to the back-end office integrated into the utility. The narrowband communications mesh radio that we offer actually collects the data from the home, but also it eliminates manual reading, so you don't need people to go and do the readings anymore. It allows the consumers then to accurately see their billing and what their usage, and more importantly then, what is important is that we have more efficiency and effectiveness within our communications and use of data. For instance, here in India, there is $32 billion lost a year through inefficiencies and stolen electricity. 32 billion, which is about 1.7 GDP. So for growth of India, growth in the energy, growth in GDP, we all need to work and fix that issue that we all have to get further growth and make India even better than it is today. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sam Halford. I'm the MD of Equinity India, part of Equinity Group. Not people not many people know about what Quinity actually does. We run services for shareholder solutions, pensions, KYC, loans, etc. Quinity India is based in Chennai, and we have 1,000 staff based there running a variety of services, mainly IT support and development, shared service for HR, finance, sales and market support, etc. The team started in 2014 with 100 staff, and we're now running 1,000. And we're the biggest business unit of the whole of the Quinity Group, which is based in USA, London, Netherlands, and Chennai. Chennai is seen as a major growth area, but we've run out of space in Chennai, so we're looking for special skills and the development skills for IT. So we thought that Bangalore was the best place to be placed there. And the idea is to run an extremely high-level development team within Bangalore. We also run an innovation hub in Chennai, concentrating on robotics, blockchain, and AI. And those staff who have been working there actually go out and work in the UK, running out robotics and blockchain. So it's been a quite dynamic team. The reason we've invested in India is because of the quality of staff we get. Problems we could have is attrition, but that's a problem everyone has in India. But great input from the colleges as well. So we've run a super service in Quinity, and it's a very high-level service, renowned by everyone in the UK, and will grow further as years go on. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Lyric from Logically. So we kind of specialise in using human and artificial intelligence to detect misinformation, disinformation, and content likely to incite violence. So obviously very topical and very relevant to India at this moment in time. Logically is fairly young. We're about 2 years old at this point, about 45 people spread across the UK and India. We're actually setting up a team now in India specifically to look at how we can monitor misinformation in different languages in different regions in India. We have a couple of interesting announcements today, but first I'd really like to talk about how we work and how we actually go about doing what we say we do. So the way our technology works, again, all about human and artificial intelligence collaboration. There's a few tasks that a machine can do very well, much better than any human ever can, and there's a lot of tasks that humans do really well, a lot better than any machine can ever do. But then there's nothing that, there's no machine and there's no man that's better than a man with a machine, and we believe that to be the case with detecting misinformation and disinformation as well. The way our artificial intelligence layer works is looking at content, so looking at all the biases, logical fallacies, and outright wrong claims that are made in content. We then track metadata such as who wrote particular content, so we try and identify domain experts and any sort of conflicts of interest that might be directing any content through different networks. And the last layer is obviously networks. So we monitor different networks, such as social media networks, to identify specific bad nodes and accounts that proliferate sort of low quality information. And we also have detected a sort of very distinct pattern of propagation that misinformation takes on these networks. So with that, I'd like to come to a couple of the announcements that we're making today. So the first is a call for partners, specifically around a project we're looking to put together around the Indian election. So we're working with Pop-Up Newsroom, who will be designing this collaboration, and have had tremendous success in election projects previously in Mexico and in France and also in the US. We're looking to bring that to India and obviously make it bigger and better for India. Everything's big in Texas, but not, well, India kind of makes Texas hold its bag. So. Right. So a call for partners. We're looking to work with Indian platforms, messaging platforms, social media platforms, anyone who's interested specifically around reducing misinformation and disinformation risk. And secondly, we're looking for publishers and broadcasters who might be national publishers and broadcasters, and also regional publishers and broadcasters who are interested in contributing to this effort. The second thing we'll be announcing today is a consumer product that we've been building. We sort of we feel that a lot of the work that's being done in this space is in the sort of annals of R&D departments of large technology giants based primarily in the US, and a lot of people and a lot of individuals in the US and in the UK and in India don't really have access and don't really have a voice in directing development and directing the way in which these technologies are being built. So we'd like to give average Joes and Janes, sort of the arm army, a voice into how our product's going to work, and we believe our sort of minimum viable product that we're launching today on logically.co.uk is the foundation for that. That product is very, very new. It's almost a baby. It's sort of the foundation on which a lot of our cooler tech is going to operate. And we'd love to have everyone here try it out, and everyone this is reaching try it out. Additionally, we're also looking for, like I mentioned, building out our teams in India. So again, if you are actively passionate about this area and would like to get involved in a professional capacity, do get in touch. So that's been us at Logically.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Prem Bhartasarathi, the managing partner of Pontac. We are a UK headquartered venture capital fund. We are a UK India innovation fund and have been in operation since about 2014. Now, the sectors we specialize in is fintech, smart cities tech, and emerging tech, both on the digital as well as the non-digital side of B2B or B2B2C businesses. Now, in terms of what we do, we invest on both the sides of the corridor, and we give cross-border, we create an ecosystem for cross-border technology transfer between both the economies to enable creation of a sustainable economic development is what we call creation of jobs. Very recently, under the presence of Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad, Union Minister of IT, in London, we launched our £50 million fund, and we are in the process and working actively with various investors. And we have 3 announcements to make today. Number 1 is we have already partnered or set up an MOU with 2 state governments in India, namely Haryana and Gujarat. This is to enable companies we are investing in UK to get a scale at the state level and create more jobs. Number 2, we're extremely pleased to mention that we're making our first investment in India in an Indian company, which is Zest IoT, which is also a Tech Rocket Ship Award winner through yesterday. And most importantly, we've been working with them for the last 4 months, and we've already secured grounds in terms of expansion plans for them into the UK, and we've got a few large engineering companies already established interest for collaboration, so they are actually moving to the UK, so which is, again, the reverse is happening. And the third is, thanks to the efforts of DIT and the Foreign Commonwealth Office, whom we have been working with, we have been able to, in partnership with the central government, the STPI, and the state government of Tamil Nadu, we've been able to carve out a fintech center of excellence. Again, one of the centers of excellence that Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad has christened, and this is due to commence next year onwards, and we have committed about $2 million. This is about identifying those evolving fintech companies from India and grooming them and nurturing them and giving them market access to UK and beyond. So all in all, through the £50 million fund, we aim to create at least 2,500 jobs in this corridor. We have been successful about 170, 175 so far. And our future plans are also to create an India-centric fund, what we call India Tech for Global Good. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Elaine Warburton. I'm CEO and co-founder of Quantum DX Group, a company based in the northeast of England. And I've brought with me today Chandy Nair, who is Director of Mulbio Diagnostics, a company based in Bangalore. We're both developing a portable DNA analyzer platforms. About 3 years ago, I was very lucky to join our Prime Minister, Mrs. May, on her very first overseas mission to India. And we met up. I'd already known Chandi before and Molbio before, but we met up then. And we are actually delighted to announce that we have just today signed a very far-reaching memorandum of understanding, which I'll talk a little bit more about. Infectious diseases, particularly tuberculosis, is a massive global healthcare burden. And with the rise of antimicrobial resistance, it's likely that this will be mankind's Armageddon. It's causing a huge humanitarian burden, and both our companies believe that we have and are about to solve or help with the reducing the burden of infectious diseases. As I said before, we both developed portable DNA analyzers that you can basically undertake diagnostics, very rapid lab standard diagnostics in minutes at the patient's side. They're both robust and can be taken out into rural areas, into rural villages where the main humanitarian infectious disease burden is. Our first focus on our Memorandum of Understanding is that we're going to be looking at infectious diseases and introducing our multi-drug resistant TB tests into India through Molbio. Molbio already have extensive penetration of Indian markets, particularly in clinics, and Quantum DX's technology is going to be integrated into those areas. Furthermore, infectious disease, not only TB, but infectious diseases is a great burden. So we're going to be co-developing other infectious disease tests, such as HPV, which is the causative agent of, or causative virus of cervical cancer and some head and neck cancers. We're also looking at fevers of unknown origin and respiratory infections as well. So we're able to diagnose within minutes at the patient's side, but particularly at very, very low cost. So this will be extremely exciting for India. I'd also like to, I'm going to be immensely proud that we are announcing that we are also going to co-develop the world's first handheld DNA targeted sequencing DNA analyzer that can undertake clinical diagnostics. Both our companies already have connectivity integrated into our devices, but by undertaking very complex diagnostics, very, very precise diagnostics, we're able to geostamp pathogen data and beam it up into a cloud where we'll be able to monitor in real time infectious diseases, the uptake of new novel diseases, and also the spread of multi-drug resistant infections. This is extremely important for public health officials because this will be the first time that they'll be able to truly look in real time the emergence of infections. And if you can look and early identify these infectious diseases, you can mobilize resources, public health resources, and act accordingly and prescribe the right medicines as well. So we're very, very excited about this collaboration. Can I hand over to Chandi?
Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm extremely excited and proud to be here today to announce our collaboration. As Elena has very correctly pointed out, diseases have no boundaries, and our goals are the same. We want to provide very accurate, rapid diagnostics to people where they need it and when they need it the most. And we want to do this at a price point that is affordable, because diseases of the kinds that we're talking about affects people who are not in a position to pay for diagnostics typically. Given that our goals are the same, we now combining our forces, combining the expertise that we've had over more than a decade of development in individual countries and companies, to do this faster, do this better, and do this more economically. The benefit to the patient is faster diagnosis and very precise, directed therapy very early during the onset of the disease, and therefore the patient would recover faster, would have a very rapid return to wellness, and all the associated benefits that the patient, his family, and the entire nation has. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and apologies for the background noise of the drone. We'll try and get it moved away so you can hear everyone a little clearer. Right, so Dominic, any concluding remarks before we move to Q&A?
I thought that was fantastic. I kept taking a lot of notes. I hope you sitting in front of us took a lot of notes as well, because I learnt a lot. And some really exciting innovations, collaborations and launches. In addition to what you just heard, I mean, those are just a selection. We will also be developing in the course of the next year a tech hub here in Delhi, which will bring together those who want to work together, jointly collaborate, MSMEs, scientists, innovators, and we'll have that docking point here in Delhi. And also we will do some more work, as I say, on the clusters. So there's lots more still to do, but we're open to questions.
Fantastic. So if you have a question, could I ask you to raise your hand and one of our roving mics will come towards you. And if you could identify yourself with the publication that you're from. Where are our microphone bearers? I will bring you mine. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Prashant from UMT Corporate Services. And the question is for the gentleman from, logically I didn't get your name, but I'm also mentoring a young team from a regional newspaper who have taken the content from their father's newspaper and are publishing a lot of stuff on YouTube. So I'm very happy to put you in touch if you're interested. They're in the eastern part of India.
Brilliant, that's perfect. That's exactly the type of partners we're looking for. So big, small, regional, national, anyone who's just passionate about this space and has some skills they can bring to it, which by the sounds of it, the group you're mentoring absolutely do. So
Hopefully I'll earn my coffee. Thank you.
Absolutely, we'd love to.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Don't be shy. Anyone? Yep, okay, 1 second.
Good afternoon. My name is Srinath Srinivasa. I come from IIIT Bangalore. It's a graduate school located in the heart of the Silicon Valley of India in Bangalore. So we are part of a global network of what is called as web observatories, which are kind of analogous to physical observatories, except they observe the web. And so this was spearheaded by the University of Southampton in the UK, Dame Wendy Hall and Tim Berners-Lee and so on. And part of our work is what we call social cognition, understanding how social media is impacting collective opinions and how it's in turn impacting businesses and political processes and so on. So we'd be very keen to exchange notes and see where your work can take us to.
Thank you very much. Any other questions from our media delegates on the floor?
Can I ask a question of the companies, Sally? Just over the last couple of days, one of the questions that has really arisen and was picked up in the second presentation by Sam was about talent in India. And at the Tech Alliance meeting yesterday, it was really, really clear. The message that was really clear is that technology talent is becoming increasingly limited in India for a range of reasons. I just wonder, Sam, a question for you, how you made a point about talent, whether you have any concerns or whether you have any real opportunities about growing that talent base, because there's some of the deep tech that the first two companies are certainly engaged in requires a specific set of skills that I don't know whether, that's kind of over to you, but I just wonder what your talent experience has been here, because it's really quite prevalent in our discussions the last couple of days.
Well, obviously, we take in graduates every year and put them through a 2-year cycle of programs to increase their learning profile. And I always ensure that the skill is not a job for life. They've got to reskill all the time. The problem I think we have in India is the women don't get the opportunity of seeing their careers through, because very quickly they come for a year or so and then they're married and then they go on the baby and then they'll never come back to work. So I lose some very talented women because of the culture that currently exists in India. That's got to change. Women have got to be more opportunities in India to grow. Some of my best staff have been women, and then the people I've actually lost. So I'm really keen to ensure that we have a process where we can actually keep women in employment, but it's quite hard to do given the culture we have.
Good. Well, the second question was the T, and the T is about technology transfer. Big issue. I don't think you can drive trade without technology transfer in India. I think we talked earlier on about sort of making India. It's gone through various bits of genesis, but I think the first company, Synode, have sort of started on the journey of technology transfer. What are your experiences so far?
So the technology transfer that we've done in probably the last 12 months has really been accepted and taken on board. And, talk about the skill sets. Well, within the IoT software and hardware, there's a lot of skills here in India, and we're busily recruiting additional resources as we speak and doing that technology transfer where, first of all, we take people into the UK. They sit in the Centre of Excellence in Cambridge in the UK. They get to feel and touch the software, look at the hardware, see how all the components are pulled together, etc. So there's an intense program. And then they move back here into the homeland, into India, with that knowledge, with that expertise, backed up by UK Centre of Excellence. So
can you retain them when they come back?
We do retain them, yes. I think the first thing is recruiting them. And I think that, that getting the message out that, we want those sort of skill sets to upskill them. And that's the important thing, going from sort of manual skill to technology skills to, up in the level here in India. And we're very happy to be part of that.
Good, thank you. And one final question for Prem. Another T, it's 3, but what is your 4th investment?
Sorry, what
is going to be your next set of investments? So from 3 to 4.
I think we have lined up about 4 more companies to be investing. So we look forward to, subject to due diligence, investing in these in the next 8 weeks or so. One is in the field of payments technology, fintech. Other is focusing on digital factory as a service, which is factoring on the MSMEs. The third one we are currently looking at, it's a bit confidential at this point in time, so I wouldn't reveal that. And the fourth one is, again, an IoT kind of a solution set up by 2 leading entrepreneurs with multiple billion-dollar exits, which has got a global presence. So, so.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you very much. So any final questions from our media representatives on the floor? In which case, I think we'll say a massive thank you to the companies who came here today. Fascinating, very great to hear everything you had to say. If you are here from a media agency, grateful if you could gather to the left of the stage and we'll take you on a tour of the exhibit area now. But thank you very much.